right?
I feel the most important part of this expansion is to keep pushing for new mods, more out of the ordinary mission, and gear that worth grinding, maybe adding new challenges to keep us on our toes and keep playing. Side note, Pantheon must stay.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. Something that I'm interested to see, I'm with you in that, like, Pantheon is really neat, and it'll be a shame when it goes away. I think the thing I'm most interested in seeing is if Bungie gets to start moving away from the season format with episodes a bit more. Because, like, every season, something happens, and we gotta go collect some amount of MacGuffins for the MacGuffin machine, and come back next week to see if the MacGuffin machine is going to spit out a cutscene, something like that. I'm wondering if they can potentially move away from having that limitation with episodes, because like part of it was like they needed a reason for people to come back every week, you know, to like push the story forward. And even if there were weeks where the story was not being pushed forward in a significant way, they still wanted some kind of like a mission or something for you to go do that feels like you're contributing to the story overall. So I think if they ever get to a point where they don't feel like they need to have that as like a template, that might freshen up the experience a bit. I still think a lot of things about episodes are going to feel very, very similar to seasons, but I think that is something that I would like to see Bungie mess around with a little bit more. Maybe not feel like they need to have just something every week. Maybe something more substantial every other week. I don't really know their metrics, how they drive their metrics or anything like that. So I would need a lot more data to really come to some kind of a conclusion. Also felt like the season had to be all interconnected. Yeah. And episodes don't need to really be played in any order. At least these first three anyway. Like there are fun parts and aspects about each season kind of leading into the next season. But that also does mean you need to play with a certain set of rules. And maybe now, if they don't have to play within those rules, they can try out some freaking different stuff or anything like that. Do you think they will or maybe should invest more time and effort into more replayable content like Onslaught, for example? That's not the worst idea, and they've kind of been doing that with some of these exotic missions. I remember having a conversation with someone from Bungie many years ago when these exotic missions were first starting to come out about like how expensive they are to make. They're really expensive to make, mainly because people only played through them one or two times. So like they weren't getting a ton of value. It took a lot of time and effort to make these things that people would only play once or twice. So you've been seeing with some of these exotic missions coming back, they're putting catalysts, they're putting extra little secrets and puzzles in there to keep people coming back at least for a few more playthroughs. So I think something like that has absolutely been on their mind. But you can only make something so replayable before you just completely run out of things to do on that thing. Like, you know, seasonal content. As soon as you get all the weapon patterns, it's like, okay, I'm good. I have all the weapon patterns. There's nothing else I could possibly need from this place. But then Bungie's like, hey, how about shiny versions of guns, Onslaught? And I'm like, okay, you're kind of talking my language. You have something for the super giga hardcore to go grind out if they want to go grind those things out. You know, maybe stick to just having it be cosmetic instead of doing this double perk action, even though I really like the double perk action. There's so many people who are complaining about it. But I think, you know, while episode 1 is the newest episode and there's episodic weapon, let's just call them seasonal weapons for lack of a better term right now. You have these seasonal weapons that can drop as shiny, and then as soon as episode 2 comes out, you retire the season or the episode 1 weapons as shinies, and then episode 2 has shiny weapons. And you kind of keep going on like that. Because I think shiny weapons are great. Something a little extra that's just kind of cosmetic for people to go chase. I think that's cool. The people complaining about double perks on shiny weapons are people who don't have the ability to grind shiny weapons. That's really what it is. It's like, no fair gameplay competitive advantage. It's like, bro, if you're the kind of person who's complaining about a competitive gameplay advantage because someone can get double perk rolls, guess what? You were never competitive to begin with, brother man. Like, sit your ass back down. It's not, like, if you're not the kind of person that has the time to go try and get some shiny weapons, they do not matter to you. They are not going to impact your life in the slightest. So just chill out, okay? Ain't no competitive nothing. I understand you want them, but like they're rare for a reason, you know? They're rare because they're neat. And they're neat because they're rare. So I think you maybe start to see more. Like, I mean, I don't think they would do this because it's way too easy to just sell versus like put it in the game as like a shiny. But that's something that they could also do, is sort of like a raid weapon-esque type thing for some of these exotic missions. Is like you can get the shiny version of an exotic, right? I don't think they would do that because I think, you know, selling ornaments is probably far too valuable. But, you know, imagine they had shiny versions, kind of like a Nano Phoenix situation, right? Where just Nano Phoenix was super, super rare from Wrath of the Machine. You know, you just kind of hit the lottery. You have shiny versions of raid exotics, shiny versions of exotic mission weapons, you know. Start doing some more of that kind of stuff. And you just have these lottery drops, right? Because that's something that the game is kind of missing nowadays, is these lottery type drops where you feel good about getting a random drop again. Because like it's been so long. I put out that tweet forever ago. It's got like some of the highest likes on a tweet I've ever done. Where it's like shiny weapons made me excited to get a loot drop for the first time in I don't know how many freaking years. Right? So I think that's something that doesn't really like, it doesn't really take away from the loot experience. It's just kind of like you hit the lottery on a drop. You hope it's a good one. If you did, congrats, you got a shiny version. If not, it is what it is. And you try again, and you get another one. I want more shinies, less crafting. You're not going to get less crafting, I'll tell you that right now. You know what? I'm going to give that to you, because this guy is just all black, super black. I respect it. I respect this. Yeah, you're not getting less crafting. I've seen way too many Reddit posts that's like, me grinding for XYZ weapon in Onslaught has really made me appreciate crafting. Like, crafting's not going away anytime soon. You will absolutely continue to see a crafted weapon be a part of the experience. But I think we can have both crafting and lottery drops, and hopefully Bungie is starting to see the light with some of these more cosmetic lottery drops as opposed to, you know, like the raid exotic, for example. Because these lottery shiny versions of weapons, you know, it's a nice way to introduce that like surprise fun factor again for people, because it's fun. It's fun winning the lotto, you know? It's fun. It's fun to have those drops. And I'm hoping that Bungie does embrace this shiny drop mindset a little bit more going into the future, because it can, you know, at least temporarily help with some of the issues of like people, you know, just grinding out weapon patterns and then quitting the game because they have everything, versus people who are like, if I didn't have crafted weapons, I would literally never play this game again. Yeah, I think exotic shinies would be awesome, you know, especially as like a random drop too. It's like we don't really have like random dropping exotic weapons anymore. And like, look at some of the most hype moments from early D1. It's everyone freaking out that they got a Gallarhorn. What if after every activity you had like a 0.1% chance to get like a shiny exotic or something like that? That'd be sick. Oh my god, I'm sorry. That's my fault. You know, have some of these lotto drops. The exotics don't need to be different in terms of how they actually function. It's just like you're in an LFG and you just like whip out the golden 1,000 voices and people are like, bro, you got the gold 1,000 voices. That's so sick. Make them all gold. That's an easy one to start out with. Look at Overwatch. 500 Overwatch points or whatever, and you can buy the gold version of a gun. Make a bunch of gold. Just put a gold freaking shader on it. The most gold shader on every exotic. And it's the shiny version, and it's a super low random drop chance from doing like anything in the game. It's not sick. It's beating the odds, not accomplishing something, though. It doesn't have to be about accomplishing anything, though. It's just about the fun. It's about the thrill of the hunt. It's about the thrill of, like, could this be the run? That I get the shiny Lawrence driver that I've been hoping to get. That's it. It doesn't have to be about, like, an accomplishment. It's just like while you're playing the game, there's a chance at any moment a shiny exotic drops. And it's the exact same thing. It's just there's a shiny version, and you can be like, I got the shiny, it dropped, bro. That's so sick. Unlock it in the collections. You can delete it if you want to, you know, hold on to it for later, pull it back out of the collections. No, it's not, well, Kane, it's not necessarily like designed to be grinded out. Like it wouldn't be something where it's like, okay, if I just grind Last Wish 80,000 times to try to get the shiny 1,000 voices, I'm going to get the shiny 1,000 voices. It's just meant to be a for fun lotto drop. That's it. There's no like gameplay differences. It's just like you got a shiny Red Death to drop. You got a shiny Buried Bloodline to drop. Sick, bro. Low chance, make them super rare, no gameplay differences. Just to introduce some more fun with drops. That's all I'm saying. It's not meant to be something to go. If you want the option to, for the degenerate no-lifers like me, who can go grind it out, you know, sure. Go grind it out, whatever. I grinded out a bunch of shinies. I still haven't gotten like a shiny Edge Transit that I actually want to use. I've been through like 24 of them at this point. It's just supposed to be about the thrill of hitting the lotto. And then something that Bungie could do is they could start dropping these like loot chests after you do stuff, and then you have to buy keys to open the chests, right? But in the chest there's like chance to get a rare skin that you can sell on an online market. All right, cut that.